Before we dig into the video, I did just want to update you guys on a very big change that's happening with my partnership. So as you guys know, I have partnered recently with a brand named Grow Portfolio. What they are is a Telegram chat that sends out signals every single morning and lets you guys know what could be some very good options and some plays to make during that day's trading session. So what's happening recently is that we've noticed that some people were, talking about memberships and testing out a trial period. So what we wanted to go ahead and do is let you guys have a trial period for the first 10 people who use my code. They sign up right now. You can have a free trial period in which you can get access to the Telegram chat. You can get these signals from the traders and the analysts, and you can try them out yourselves, see how it goes. And if you do want to continue your membership, as you know, you continue on through that trial, you can go ahead and sign up there. We wanted to be able to give you guys the best experience possible, and if all that takes is letting you guys just try it out for a little bit for free, don't worry about the money and don't worry about anything holding you down. You can go ahead, you do that. Check out the description in my bio, go see all the information there, and let me know if you have any questions. What's going on, my friends, and welcome back to the My Stock Journey channel. So before we get into the video, once again, I did want to remind you guys that we are doing a comment of the day, and today's comment of the day is going to be coming from a buddy of mine named Darren Jackson TV. He runs a very great YouTube channel over there, and you should definitely check him out. Link will be in the description below. But his comment says, when you're in the ring, do you consider the prize money as actual dollars or a certain amount of shares of store capital stock? Honestly, when I read this comment, I was at work and literally almost fell out my seat. That is absolutely hilarious. If you are new to the channel, you might not know, but if you've been around for a little while, I have been having store capital as one of my biggest parts of my holding forever. I love this stock, and I kind of go on little rambles and rants about how much I love them quite often. It's a little bit obsessive, might be a little weird, but Darren, that's absolutely hilarious, and congrats for being the comment of the day, brother. So today's video will be a little bit different than the rest. We're actually going to be going over Acorns. So if you guys didn't know, and I really haven't talked about it much, I have been using the Acorns Investing App for about a month now. And so what I want to kind of go ahead and do is let you guys know my experience with it. Things I like, there are a few things I don't necessarily like the most, but for the most part, it is pretty positive. So if you're here for a negative review, this probably won't be the video for you. But if you are here just to kind of see how I feel about it, definitely stick around. I'm going to go over a few points and maybe consider, give you a reason as to why maybe you should or should not invest, kind of based off of your investing style, your risk management, and how you like to invest as your own personal investor. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the reason why I started using Acorns, and what kind of things kind of drew me in a little bit and if they were successful. So basically, the biggest thing about Acorns that I wanted to kind of, get into was basically their overall, agenda and kind of how they promote themselves as a very, very passive way to invest your money. Just your spare change goes into a certain, investment portfolio, and over time it grows and they invest it, you make money, right? Very simple, very clean. And that is basically the reason I went in. I was like, okay, I want to be able to invest money slowly, but just really not have to worry about it at all. And that was very hard to do at Robinhood because, if you're an investor, you get your paycheck. I personally invest first, so I have a certain amount that I invest no matter what. So if I'm, barely above my investment amount for that paycheck, is what it is. I'm living off scraps. Pay yourself first. That's something I go by very hard. But the thing about Acorns is I wanted something that I could just put a little bit of money into every now and then and not even know I'm putting it in. But I was like, I don't just want to put $2, $3, $4 in every day. I don't know what to do. So, I'm a YouTube addict. I just watch YouTube all the time. And I kept coming across that same little Acorns ad where it would just pop up and then blah, blah, blah. And, you skip the ad. Well, one day, I seen it and I was like, you know what, maybe let me check this out. So I watched some other reviews and I do everything. And I'm like, you know what, I think that this is going to be what I'm looking for. I want to invest a little bit of money here and there and never have to think about it. And I think Acorns is the way to go for sure. So over the last month, I will say that it is probably one of my favorite ways to passively invest ever. Like, the amount of money that I'm investing typically comes out to be like $4 or $5 every day or two. And it's honestly really not bad at all. Like, it just goes into that portfolio and I never realize it's even coming out my bank account. Now, that's not me saying that I have a whole bunch of money in my bank account and I don't even realize when $5 come out. But it's just, it happens so gradually that you really just don't notice it unless you're living off of that money very, dependently. Like, if I only had $20 to live off of in my checking account, of course I would notice $5 coming out. But for where I am financially, it's just the amount of money that goes into it is very unnoticeable and very, very stressless. You don't have to worry about it at all. It just comes straight out. It rounds up your investment, and it's just a very nice way to just passively put money aside. So with that being said, one thing I did kind of not like about the model was the fact that it's a monthly fee that you have to pay of $1. Now, I know that may sound like a very minimal amount, but you think whenever you're first starting, you have to slowly work your way up to actually having a solid holding or a solid amount of holdings in these companies that they invested in. And so I feel like it kind of, isn't the best that if I have $100 invested and say my portfolio does okay, it makes about $3 or $4, I immediately lose like 25% of my gains to that monthly fee. I would almost rather just have to pay a certain amount out front, like say pay, a certain amount to actually have the app, and then from that point forward not have to pay the monthly fee, because I feel like it kind of eats away at my earnings. So one thing I kind of did to counteract that a bit is have it take $10 out of my bank account every Tuesday. And the reason I say that is because I'm almost thinking as if it's in the realm of like, if I'm investing and I have a recurring investment of that amount, I can use that money to pay for that monthly subscription forever, obviously, and not really have to worry about it eating away at my own, gains. I know that might sound kind of weird. It's basically the same thing, but it's kind of something that's made it a little bit better for me. And I've noticed that since I put that recurring investment on over the last 3 weeks I've actually been doing it, is that the more money I have in my account, obviously, the more money I'm making. Therefore, whenever it takes $1 out of my account next month, I won't notice it as much as it takes away from my earnings, right? Because you think, if you have a $10 portfolio and you make let's just say 8% in gains, well, realistically, what's that, like 80 cents or whatever? That's really not gonna do much at all, because you make 80 cents and then they take $1, so you're really going negative. Whereas if you have $100, you make $8 and they take one away, you still have $7. You have 1,000, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, I noticed the more money I kind of put in myself on a reoccurring level, it goes ahead and kind of eliminates the amount that you lose per month. So that's definitely something to look out for. If you are trying to invest with Acorns, I would definitely maybe even consider putting in like $200 or $300 out front. So whenever you're making gains from that point forward, they're not just being eaten up by the monthly payment. Another aspect of Acorns that I actually do really like a lot is the fact that they've partnered with other brands. And so whenever you spend a certain amount with another brand, that brand will then invest a certain percentage of your, amount that you paid in them back into your Acorns account. Now that's actually really interesting, because it's almost like you're saving money in a sense, right? In a sense. So I have it pulled up right here. So say Nike, for example. If I shop with Nike through my Acorns account, it will then reinvest 5% of the money that I spent back into my account, which is actually not bad at all. Because you think about it like this: if I go to Nike's website and I spend $100, well, that $100 is just gone, realistically. I get my clothes and that's it. Well, if I go through Acorns and I spend that same $100 through Acorns, linked affiliation with Nike, I buy the same $100 worth of clothes, I'll then have $5 then put into my Acorns account. That $5 can turn into who knows how much, maybe $10, $20 in the future, which could be saving me money and slowly making my money back over the long run, which is absolutely that's an awesome thing. Now, one thing I will say, with all the positives does come a little bit of a negative. What I will say about Acorns is that the fact that you don't actually get that found money, as it's quoted on, the Acorns app, for 60 days. And it's not bad if you're a long-term investor. It's just kind of weird, I guess, just because I'm like, it's just 2 months I feel is a long time. But I guess it does make sense that some of these companies aren't just going to be able to keep, doing all these different transactions and adding into people's accounts and everything. But I do feel like the 60 days is just a long time, because I'm like, man, that 60 days could have been spent making some bank, right? But at the same time, had they not even had this affiliation or this, this little special aspect to their app, you wouldn't even really have that reinvested money anyway. So I guess having to wait 60 days to let that money grow into more money is better than not having it in the first place. So it's definitely another cool aspect of Acorns that, if you're, in it for the long run, could be very, very beneficial to you and your portfolio as well. One very big thing about Acorns, if I could change one thing about Acorns, it would definitely be the fact that you can't control what exactly you're investing in. Now, if you do go to the Acorns app, you will see that there are different options in which you can invest in. So you can be like moderate, super aggressive, etc. And you can kind of pick like what level of risk and reward ratio that you'd like for yourself personally. But you can't go in and actually choose what companies, stocks, bonds, funds, etc. that you're going to invest in. Now, I will say that I don't necessarily like that much, simply for the fact that I don't know, I might be a little controlling, but I like knowing exactly what my money's going into, and I like being able to control exactly what I'm putting money into. And I feel like personally, it would just make me a little bit, I would just feel a little bit better if I could use the same, funds and systems that Acorns has, and just invest that rounded up money from my spare change into companies that I want, rather than having basically a big ETF. So, that's definitely not the best thing in the world, but at the same time, I feel like they're very, very aware of what they're going to be, putting your money into. They wouldn't be investing your money into just crazy random things. So that means that I do believe that they're going to go ahead and continue to, update it and adapt that profile and that portfolio to, what's doing very well in the market. So I'll go ahead and I'll trust them and see how their portfolios perform. I do have mine on super aggressive. I'm super aggressive. No, I'm just playing. But I do have it invested on super aggressive, simply for the fact that I feel like at this point in my life, I can take a little bit more risks. And so honestly, it's not that big a deal. I feel like I'm just going to go ahead, put it on super aggressive and see what kind of gains we can make. We either make some gains, we'll make some losses. That's the market for you. So honestly, I'm totally cool with it. So one aspect of Acorns that I actually do really like a lot, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the screen recording up on the screen right here. So what you can do is actually look to see that with the current projection of what you have invested in the market, how much you invest on a recurring schedule, and what it's looking like with your roundups, how often you're getting your your spare change rounded up. They kind of give you a little faint projection of how much you could have in your portfolio by a certain age, which I think is really cool. I don't honestly believe that it's going to be very accurate in a sense of being spot on, but I do believe that a general idea is definitely not bad. I'm sure they have some good calculators going to get these right. So basically, I just wanted to look and say, hey, maybe if I want to say, based on my current projection at 35, how much will I have invested in this account if the market just continues to, do what it does on average? So what you could do is you could come here and you could check, and you can go all the way down to 35 and say, 26,473. And that's awesome because, with me personally, with my investment, I have no idea how much would be in it after rounding up the amount that it gets rounded up and investing $10 a week. It would take me a while to do the math to get a rough, brief idea. My guess would probably be like 20,000. Or my really bad guess would be like 50,000. So the fact that they give you a general idea of where you could be at based off certain portfolios in your portfolio is definitely a plus for sure. One aspect of Acorns that I actually really love is the Acorns card. Now this is a card that I don't have, but I do plan on ordering at the end of this month. And basically what it is if it's like a debit card that takes money directly out of your Acorns account when you spend it. Now that's actually really cool because if you think about it in the sense like if you get to a certain amount, say you have 100,000 in your Acorns account and you're making a certain amount every single month, you could then just technically in a sense spend the money that you made and just break even every month. It's very cool that you can access that money very directly and spend it, which could be a bad thing if you're a big spender. I'm personally not, so I don't see the issue with it. But it's very cool, say if you I want to invest and use Acorns for a year and then go ahead and, I don't know, maybe go ahead and buy a computer. Or maybe I'll go and buy a TV or something crazy like that. You could use this app and you can do that and then use your Acorns account itself to fund the purchase. So you never even have to deal with transferring it out and selling stocks and then putting it into your bank account and then waiting for the transfer to go through and then waiting for the confirmation from our bank and then putting it on your credit card. Then it's a whole big process if not. Whereas you can actually just access your funds directly through Acorns, which I believe to be very, very awesome for sure. So Acorns has 4 aspects to their app that basically run the entire app. They have Early for Kids, which basically you can go ahead and start an account for, say, your child or anything and let it grow over time, which is beautiful. You have Spend Smarter. Basically what Spend Smarter is the Acorns, credit card account. So that's going to be, aspect number 2. Number 3 is going to be Later. So you can actually start a retirement account in which you put funds into, and it does all this little thing with like the IRA type scheme, everything like that. So it's actually very, very cool. And then you have your Invest for Your Future, which is actually the thing that I use, which is just, put the money in the market and let it grow. Just very, very simple buy stock, hold stocks, sell stocks, style of scheme or system. And so with that being said, those are the big 4 aspects of Acorns that are very, very strong and kind of are their basis around the whole app. I like the fact that they don't necessarily branch out too far and try to do all types of things. They kind of keep it in home and they try to keep it very, local with what they try to do, which is very, it's very important for me because when I'm using apps or when I'm using, a service or anything, I don't like when they try to do too much. It kind of makes me think, man, you're not putting enough attention on your main, aspects of your app. And the fact that, once again, they keep it very at home and they keep it, look, we're doing these 4 things and that's all we're doing, it's very, very important to me, and it's something I think a lot of people also love for sure. So me personally, after a month of rounding up my money to 25 cents, so if I spend $1, it'll round up 25 cents, and also putting in $10 every month, I am currently sitting at a portfolio of $91.86. And honestly, that's not bad because I did not notice it came out my account, and that's what I love about this app. So we can go ahead, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll put my screen recording on right about now, and I'll go and look at how my portfolio is doing. So I'll go to Invest for Your Future, and I'll scroll down. and you can kind of see what I've invested and how it's done. So I've invested, this hasn't updated yet, but you can see that I've made returns of $2.90, which is about a 3.26 return over the last month, which is honestly not bad at all. I'll take it. Hey, easy 3%, boys. Because if you have it in a bank account, man, you're making like 1% maximum, maybe 2% every year. 3% in a month is definitely the better route to go for me. And so you can kind of see, like, it just invests. What I'll go ahead and I'll go do is, you can see my roundups is about $27.45. My recurring is $40. Now, of course, that hasn't updated yet because I've only made $3 in returns. So it's probably sitting at about $50 in roundups and about $40 in recurring. But man, the fact that I honestly did not notice this money coming out is what makes the app for me. I absolutely love it because it's just it's so seamless. It's just so easy. And that's honestly one of my favorite aspects of it for sure. You can see my portfolio is aggressive, roundup settings, automatic, and recurring, $10 every single Tuesday. And it's just so easy. Honestly, like, that's the biggest thing. If I can say anything about this app, is that it's just very, very easy to use. So overall, I do believe that Acorns is a very, very good app. I feel like they're good for what they're trying to do. If you're the type of investor that you just want to go in and you want to invest money very passively, just, spend your extra change, your extra 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever, put it into an investment account and never have to worry about it again. I believe that they are the top option in the entire app market right now, and can be a very, very good pick. They're very user friendly. The app's very easily understandable, which is kind of, I don't know. A lot of apps are very confusing. Like, one that's kind of confusing to me is Webull. Like, there's just so much going on. It's very confusing, and I'm very basic. So having an app like this is just very simple, where they just say, good evening, Tyler. You have this much invested, you've invested this much, and you've gotten this much in returns, is actually not bad at all. So that being said, I do believe that if that is what you're looking for, and you're looking for a very simple, easy, passive, stressless way to invest your money, Acorns can be the way to go for sure. If you guys did like that review, definitely let me know by hitting the like button. It helps me out so much, and our channel is once again just growing so much. Like, 50 subscribers over the last 8 days is just ridiculous. Like, that's just insane, right? If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you do subscribe and you are brand new and you made it this far, I thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section to be the comment of the day. I do prefer the funny ones just because, everyone needs a good little laugh now and then. So if you want to go ahead and try to maybe get me to giggle a little bit, you might be the next comment of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.